possible way. The final question, Bartholomew. Let's start in the AFC. Who wins and why?
I want to say that the Bills are the better team, but I'm picking against Patrick Mahomes because that's sometimes twice a day a broken clock is right, and I've been broken.
I didn't really put all the picks up on the screen. I'm seeing a lot of Buffalo on this page here, and I'm not going to lie to you, that surprises me. RC, why?
Well, the only reason I was going to pick the Kansas City Chiefs was because of Patrick Mahomes.
Right.
And I was like, listen, don't come on here, even though you don't have chest hair, don't come on here acting like Dan Orlovsky and being scared to do what the film tells you. And what the film tells me is that right now the Buffalo Bills are the better team. The Buffalo Bills are a bad matchup for the Kansas City Chiefs. And the Buffalo Bills have a quarterback in Josh Allen. If he does need to match how extraordinary Patrick Mahomes can be, we've seen him do that in the playoffs.
I'm going Buffalo for a very fundamental reason. Their style of play is very repeatable. It's offensive efficiency. We've seen it all season long, and to me, nothing crazy has to happen. If these teams, the way they're playing right now, if they play 10 times, Buffalo wins 6 or 7 times.
6 or 7 times, but it's the AFC Championship in Kansas City. And I mean, only if Patrick Mahomes loses this game in regulation, it will be his earliest postseason exit of his entire career.
That's correct.
That is insane. They know how to win this game. Look, every Friday all year we have sat here and picked the Chiefs game, and I picked the Chiefs, and half the time it's looked like this. And they're 16-2.
Through the NFC game, RC, starting with you. Commanders and Eagles, who you got?
I'm going with the Washington Commanders, and I know that this may not be the popular pick, but I believe that Jalen Hurts' injury is important. I believe that this does for this Washington Commanders defense everything it needs to do to make them even more aggressive, to put them in a place to get turnovers like we saw against the Detroit Lions. And I love Jaden Daniels. I think the moment isn't too big for him. I think he understands what he has to be in order for this team to win. And the thing I love the most about his playmaking ability is that it never seems forced. And I don't believe it'll seem forced against the Philadelphia Eagles.
You only got one thing wrong, and that is it is a popular pick. Put the picks up there, Cindy. I am a little surprised again.
Shocked.
To see a lot.
I don't like this.
A lot of W's up there.
I don't like that.
Same thing from the AFC. It's a very repeatable format, Greeny. It's 4-down football. Jaden Daniels, we're going no huddle from the word go, and we're just going to go down the field. We're never going to punt. We're never going to kick an extra a field goal. And on defense, if they're one-dimensional, which we think there's a possibility because of Jalen Hurts' situation, it makes Philadelphia that much more beatable.
I pick both road teams.
I think there are sweet spots sometimes with these underdogs where they become like the way that Washington is going right now, the way that the Commanders feel about themselves right now. What was Dan Quinn's quote this week? We found our identity, but we haven't found our ceiling. Like that, they feel that way about themselves. Jaden Daniels is for real. They're healthier. I just feel like they're in position to win it.
I've been part of taking 2 rookies to this game, a much better football team, but never have I taken a quarterback as good as this one. So I'm not confident by it, but ultimately the better team, man for man, is the Philadelphia Eagles.
Agreed.
And I would say that Vic Fangio, the third time seeing it, would be able to be prepared for the no huddle and have a plan in place. Listen, we call it lobster. You know what I mean? You want to go this no huddle stuff? Oh, my hand.
Do you feel like, okay, so it's scuba. We call it the scuba. Take a dive. Do you believe that Washington was better than Tampa and Detroit?
No.
Yeah,
Better
going
team
into the game?
doesn't always win.
Detroit?
Well, I thought because Detroit defense was so limited, I thought they'd be able to do it.
We will see. Once again, he was
don't
there
sound
with
confident.
Flacco. He was there with Sanchez.
Oh, my leg. Sorry
Lobster
for the
sounds
no
pretty
huddle.
good right about now. All right, 2 of the top things that only happen on this show. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we do
It's a good thing.
We do the best we can to make you smile every morning, and we thank you for getting up with us. We are live above the Heineken River deck at Pier 17, and we are counting it down to Championship Sunday. So because we are on a Friday, let's call it a Friday forecast. RC, give me a little Friday forecast about the AFC Championship game.
The Kansas City Chiefs are to win this game. Patrick Mahomes has to be Superman. Patrick Mahomes has to show us why he's on a trajectory to maybe be the best quarterback to ever play this game or the greatest. Patrick Mahomes is going to have to go above and beyond the X's and O's. He's going to have to elevate everyone around him. And at some point in this game, he's going to have to do something that he hasn't done this entire season. Can't wait to see him him try to put this team on his back.
Graziano, what's your Friday forecast?
I think there's a possibility the Bills are just the better team and look like it. I can't pick them. I have rules. A man's got to have a code. I pick the Chiefs every week. That is the rule. However, I would not be at all surprised if the Bills just went in there and won this game the way they did against the Ravens last week, against the Broncos the week before, the way they've been doing all year.
All right, Bartholomew, let's go to the other game. Give me a Friday forecast for the Commanders.
I think Jake Daniels runs wild with his legs. I think he uses athleticism because guys are starting to respect his football acumen, his ability to beat you with his arm. So I think his legs are going to be exceptional. I think he's going to break a couple of big runs and go over 100 yards.
Interesting one. Tannenbaum, how about the Eagles?
Yeah, I think Saquon Barkley is going to be held to 125 yards or less because this game script, as we talked about, with Jalen Hurts' situation up in the air, Greeny, I think the Commanders are going to focus on Barkley. And despite him averaging 162 rushing yards per game in the playoffs, I think the Commanders do whatever it takes to slow down Barkley.
The chair recognizes Ryan Clark.
Bro, do you know how damn good you got to be for somebody to be like, they're going to hold you to 125 yards
That's
in
right.
the NFC Championship?
That's right. But, I mean, that's where we are, right?
That's how special Saquon Barkley has been this year, that if the Washington Commanders hold him to 125 yards, we may come in here on Monday and go, man, that Commanders defense really played well, didn't they?
He's trying to become the first player ever to go for over 150 against one team 3 times in a single season. We'll see if he's able to do it. But the point that Tannenbaum was making, is, for those of you who aren't following all the news, is because of the situation involving Jalen Hurts, it might impact Saquon Barkley's availability or ability to take the game over. Dan, explain the situation with Jalen Hurts.
Well, he has a knee injury and that he picked up in the game on Sunday against the Rams, and he was listed as a limited participant in Wednesday's practice, but a full participant in Thursday's practice, which means he took all the reps he would normally take